Hello and welcome to The Digest. I am Kotso Sharon Tembo and I am standing in for Francesca Piri Banda. Breast cancer is the most common malignancy among women in Zambia, followed by cervical cancer. According to Global Can, breast cancer is the #1 cause of morbidity at 11.6%, at par with lung cancer, and ranks 5th as the cause of premature mortality in both women and men worldwide. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, there were 2.3 million women diagnosed with breast cancer and 685,000 deaths globally in 2020. As of the end of 2020, there were 7.8 million women alive who were diagnosed with breast cancer in the past 5 years, making it the world's most prevalent cancer. This documentary profiles the late Lucy Gondwe's mother, as Lucy succumbed to cancer in June 2022.
Losing a loved one to cancer can be a painful and difficult time. Many people choose to grieve privately and honor their loved ones in their own way. Others find solace in keeping the person's memory alive by sharing their story with others. This is what Edith chooses to do as she honors her daughter's memory, who succumbed to breast cancer in June of 2022.
My name is Edith Magadren Bina Gondwe, and I'm the mother to Lucy Gondwe, who was a patient of cancer, and she was diagnosed in 2019. Before that, I didn't really know the necessity of cancer awareness. But I used to support, to say no, at least they should go out and sensitize people on all types of cancers. Until when I discovered that my daughter was had a breast cancer.
How did you discover?
One day she came on a public holiday to see us, and then I thought she came on the usual trips to come and see us with her daughter. As per tradition, weekends when she's not working, she will come with her daughter to see us. Now this day was a special day. She came, we had a chat, then she said, let's go to the bedroom. I went to the bedroom, and then she showed me the breast. She said, look at how my breast is. She had a depression in the breast. And I was shocked. And then, being somebody who was head of cancer, and people explain how you can notice the cancer, straight away I said, why didn't you go to the hospital? And then she said, oh, today is a public holiday. I didn't want to go today. I said, but what about these other days? She says, I only discovered it 2 days ago. So I wanted you to see it. Tomorrow I'll go. And the following day was a Friday. So a Thursday, she went to the Lusaka Trust Hospital, where a doctor who saw her was so concerned, said, but you girls, why don't you come for examination or mammograms, whatever they call it? And she said, no, doctor, I only discovered it 2 days ago. And then the doctor said, no, it's not only 2 days ago. Anytime, even if you haven't seen anything on your breast, you have to go to the hospital and have yourself checked. Otherwise, we won't know until Then this doctor was so alarmed. He said, I'll have to refer you to a specialist who deals with the cancer, breast cancer issues. And then the following day, because he is a visiting doctor at Lusaka Trust, and the following day he was visiting. He normally goes there on Fridays. She went. When she went there, the doctor saw her, and he recommended that the following day she should have a biopsy. Then my daughter said, no, I didn't prepare myself. Let me prepare myself. Can I do it the following week? So that's when the doctor said, oh, okay, if you feel you are not ready for the biopsy now, we can do it next week. That's when she went the following week. A biopsy was done. The specimen was sent to the laboratories, and we were waiting for the results. And while we were waiting, as usual as it is, we kept on praying, I hope it is not cancer. We were so scared about this thing. I went to tell our priest, Father Charlie Thomas, at the Holy Cross Cathedral, and I told him, he prayed for me. I said, don't worry, everything will be okay. Don't get scared when the specimen are taken, because that is the only way they can help you. Then I was a bit calm. I came home, I prayed over it, and it took a bit of time. I think it took about a week for the results to come out. They came out, and the day when we were going for the results, I was so scared. I went with my daughter, and we were there, and the doctor said, oh, it has been confirmed. She has got breast cancer, but not to worry. Of course, I was devastated, because the first thing we think of when people talk about cancer, we think of death. That's all. And the doctor assured us, he said, no, don't worry. The breast cancer, we normally sort it out. People can still live a normal life whilst having cancer, and don't worry about this. We'll have to check, and according to the results, it is still in its early stages. We'll be able to control it. From there, the doctor counseled us, both the patient and myself. He counseled us, and then we left. The Saturday, she went for surgery now, a major surgery, to remove the breast. The doctor said the best thing to do is to remove the breast so that it doesn't spread further, because it is in its early stages. I said, anyway, it is entirely up to her if she can accept. And then she said, no, ma'am, don't worry. I can have my breast removed. And she accepted. The following day, which was a Saturday, she went for surgery. It was quite long. It took a long time in the theater. And when we went to see her, when she was out of theater, she was there, she was in pain, of course, and she was busy consoling me instead. It was like I'm the patient. She was busy consoling me. I said, no, ma'am, I'll be fine. It's just the pain after surgery. You know it because you have gone through a surgery before. I said, yes, I know, but it's just that it's not very easy to accept such a situation. And that's where the whole story started. And she was in hospital for about a week. And after she was discharged, we used to go every Saturday or Friday for checkups and so on. And the doctor kept on assuring us. She said, the most important thing, you have to go through whatever the doctor tells you. And he said, now I've done my part, I've done the surgery, now I have to refer you to cancer hospital. That's when she was referred to cancer hospital, and at the cancer hospital, they received her very well. That was 2019. I think it must have been in May, the whole of May. And then from the May day holidays, it was the whole May, and then the whole June, we were going to cancer hospital. And then she started the chemotherapy. We did all the tests they wanted, and she started chemotherapy. And she was not complaining. She said, I don't know why people fear to go for chemotherapy. I've heard a lot of stories about chemotherapy. But going through it myself, I found out that chemotherapy is not bad at all. It's okay. It's a way of rehabilitating you and so on.
Edith adds that her daughter Lucy lived life as a breast cancer survivor for 2 years and 6 months before her demise in June. Breast cancer arises in the lining cells of the ducts or the lobules in the glandular tissue of the breast. Initially, the cancerous growth is confined to the duct or the lobule, where it generally causes no symptoms and has minimal potential for spread. Edith shared how she cared for her daughter during the time she was battling breast cancer.
There were no other complications. She was following everything that the doctors were telling her. They had to eat before she goes for chemo. She followed all the instructions, all the medication she was taking quite all right, and she healed very well. And when she started, she had very nice hair, long hair. We saw that one day she phoned me, she says, hey ma'am, I have started having my hair falling. When I touch my head, the hair remains in my hands. I think I'm going to be bald. I said, oh, I see. Are you worried about that? She said, no, I'm not worried. Actually, I'm okay. It's all right. They assured me that, they told me that when you start chemo, the hair will fall. For some people it doesn't. Some people it does. So if you see that the hair is falling, don't be surprised. So the hair all went away. She was bored. When we went to see the doctors for review, he said, yes, that's what we were talking about, the hair goes. Don't worry. For some, it takes some time to grow. For some, just a short period, it starts growing again. It was about, I think, 16 weeks, if I can remember. I can't remember the exact weeks that she went for that treatment, but she finished the whole course. And she was very energetic, she was okay. She even went for this, they call it, radiation. She did that, and everything she did. She followed everything to the book, everything that the doctors told her to do, and so on and so forth. So she was back to normal. She even started work. She was okay. And everything was normal and so on. The only thing that was bothering her was the hand, because they forgot to tell her that after all this chemo and so on, she had to go for physiotherapy, where the breast was removed. So she went for physio. They worked on her for about a month. She was going for physio. And she was back to normal. She could write, she could lift anything. She was living a normal life. All this time, we didn't have any problem. She was not falling sick, anything. There was nothing like that.
So she was cured?
She was completely cured, I think, that time. The breast never gave her any more problems. She had no more lumps. There was one time when because once you have gone through it, you are always cautious. She was checking herself. She thought there was a lump in the other breast. So she went to see the same doctor, Dr. Tembo. They got a biopsy. They said, oh, the only thing is to take a biopsy. And then she was willingly saying, oh, Dr. Tembo, if you think you can remove the other breast, just remove it. I don't care. I want it removed so I can still live a normal life even without the breast. So they got a biopsy, they went and checked it. The results came out, they were negative. There were no signs of cancer cells anywhere. So I can safely say she was cured. She was very keen to go back into the society, and she decided one day, I just saw she was on radio. I heard on the radio she was talking, and then when she came to see me, I said, "Oh, why have you decided to go open for your cancer?" And then she said, "You know why I have decided to go open with my cancer? It's because I want people to be aware of cancer, that cancer is real, but you can be cured. You have to follow the doctor's advice, because there's a lot of myths about the cancer. Just like any other disease, people tell you all sorts of stories. No, when you start chemotherapy, you do this, you don't live a normal life, whatever. All sorts of stories. But to me, I feel it varies in people's different types of people. I may take it differently. It may be okay with me, but for other people, it may not be the way I've reacted to it. But she was back to normal, life as usual. She was not groaning that she has got cancer. When you see her, you won't even believe she's a cancer patient. Her body weight was still the same way she was, and active as ever. So she said, "I'm going to go open and I'm going to sensitize people." And this is how she joined the Cancer Society. She wanted people to know that you can still live with cancer a normal life. She never hid to anybody. And she was always talking openly. She was, wherever we are gathered as a family, she would talk about it to give them awareness and to tell them to go and have themselves checked with their breasts and so on. So to me, I thought she was an inspiration. She was a living testimony that you can still live with cancer.
Ida Piri is the Communications and Administration Manager at Zambia Cancer Society and explains the society's contribution to cancer control.
Zambian Cancer Society is an organization which was founded in 2009 by Ms. Yudi Soko, who is a 2-time cancer survivor. And the organization was built on the belief that no one should fight cancer alone. And for that reason, we do support patients irrespective of age, gender, and type of cancer. So you may ask, what kind of help do you give? Well, help ranges or varies really depending on the patient that we have and the help that they need. So we do psychosocial counseling. We have had a navigation desk at the cancer hospital. You know, cancer is somehow complex and people do not know where to go or what comes after certain tests. So we had a navigation desk at the cancer hospital. And then also one of the bigger things that we do is to help the most disadvantaged cancer patients to purchase drugs and pay for local medical lab tests. Other things that we do is just help patients who are hospitalized make their lives a little bit more comfortable while they stay in hospital, because you may know that we only have one cancer hospital here in Zambia, and we have people coming from different parts of the country, and when they come at the hospital, they don't know how long they're going to stay there for, so they run out of things like bar soap, toilet paper, toothpaste, and just basic toiletries. So as an organization, we also help provide foodstuff and toiletries to people who are admitted at the Cancer Disease Hospital. A long time ago, we just used to do any patient who comes to us directly, say, I'm in need of this money, I need to purchase these drugs. But later on, we learned to say some were not patients. You know, people are being opportunists, so they did that. So now we have a system. We have patients who would come to us, but through the office of the social worker at the Cancer Disease Hospital, because they've been trained to do that, so they can scrutinize and know who really needs help.
Back at Edith's home, she shares some of her lowest points as a mother during Lucy's illness.
Well, as a mother, usually, it's not always easy. As you have seen me, the way I was walking as I was coming here, I suffer from arthritis. And that arthritis has been bothering me for a long, long time. And she's the one who was always comforting me. Now to hear that she has got this big problem, to me I was devastated. I thought, now if she goes, who is going to be looking after me? And so on.
Cancer drugs are one of the most expensive drugs, I must admit. But with the help of NEMA, many people have gotten drugs at a very, very cheaper price. So it is true, yes. For a couple of months now, some of the machines have not been working and there had been low supply of drugs. But I'm delighted to let you know that some machines have been repaired, and the government is actually working on purchasing new machines. The procurement process has already been done. So with the information that I have, I know that beginning of next year, early next year, Cancer Disease Hospital should have some of these machines, like the radiation machine, purchased and fully functional. And the situation with drugs, I must say that it has somehow improved compared to how we were, let's say, a year ago. It's not all the drugs which are there yet, but it has really improved. And we are advocating to the government. We are appealing to private sectors, government sectors, to come together and invest in cancer control, because cancer is not just a healthy issue. It is a social issue, it is an economical issue. So really it's everyone who is supposed to come together and make sure that we fight this giant disease, cancer. So to answer your question, yes, the machines had been done. Some of them have been repaired now, and the procurement process has started to procure new machines.
I would say she lived for 2 years. She passed on this year in June from 2019. And I think what led to her death was the COVID. And she went through that treatment. She became better. And I think from there, the immune sort of relapsed, I think. And it didn't go to the breast again. According to the doctors, they said, you know, when you eliminate cancer cells from somewhere, there's always one which is stubborn, which can go round and find where it can settle. So they found the cancer spots in her liver, I think one spot or two, and then one in the lung. So I think that was due to the COVID that she had. And from that one, she even recovered quite all right after the treatment, but she started coughing, I think because of the same one which went, and they said it is normal until you start, when she did all the tests all over again, they found that she had cancer cells in the liver and in the lung, a dot in the lung. So they said, no, this one will start chemotherapy again, all over again, which started. She did the first one, the second one, and the third one. But the fourth one, she was a bit weak, We went there, they said, no, we can't give it to her. We went there on a Thursday. We can't give her, let's wait first. We will do some more tests. They did those tests. They said, no, she's strong enough, she can. All the tests were okay. Everything was fine, what they normally do. Everything was fine. And then they said, oh, we can go ahead with the chemo. So they started, they gave her the pre-chemo, and then the chemotherapy medicine itself. They did that and she looked better, and they said we were going home because she said, this time I'm not going to do it while seated. I'll have to spend the night in the hospital so that they do it properly, slowly, because that medicine has got to flow slowly. So that's what we agreed, and she agreed. I said, but I have to come and sleep with you in the hospital. She says, no, there's no need. After all, it's just chemo. But we insisted that somebody spends the night with her in the hospital, which we did, and then it was okay. On Friday morning, she said, oh, yesterday you were here the whole day. Today, go home early. Well, I came home. After I left, the situation changed. She was running out of oxygen. She just went into something else, a coma. And this girl who was there rushed to call the doctor, and the nurses came, they looked at her, checked her. She came back to life. And it was life as usual. She came home, normal life. She was energetic, she was doing all the works and so on. But then I don't know what happened when we went for the next chemo. She couldn't, she was just complaining of being tired. And the thing that was making her tired, I think, is because the oxygen was running out. And maybe because of the spot which was in the lungs. But we were assured that she's going to be fine. She was talking quite all right. She was walking, going to the loo and on, everything she was doing on her own. And we could sit there, she could talk and talk about her life. And she would say, I'm happy I've gone open with the cancer. I hope I've helped a lot of people to live with the cancer. I was really devastated when she started getting sick again, as a parent, as you know. The second attack, she didn't live long. I think it was about 2 to 3 weeks. We were in hospital. We went into hospital on a Thursday, and then Friday we were there, Saturday, Monday, 16 hours she passed on. So really, I don't know. She was talking. She was talking to me. We were talking as usual. You would not think of anything worse off than that. So she passed on.
Cancer, many cancers are curable if detected at an early stage. But many times there are a lot of myths and misconceptions, illusions that go on within our communities. Some of them is that, cancer only affects the rich people because its treatment is kind of expensive. So you find some say they've been bewitched, so we have different beliefs. So you find someone, even after having signs and symptoms of maybe breast cancer or other cancers, they'll stay back at home. Some opt to use traditional medicine. I don't refuse people to pray. Some prefer to pray. But the most important thing is to visit your nearest health facility. Make sure you get checked by a professional medical doctor, and they advise what type of cancer you have, if at all you have got cancer, and then you get treatment as soon as you can to increase the chances of surviving.
The message is to take good care of the cancer patients in every situation. If it is a husband, should love the daughter, encourage them. I know some of them are so scared when they are told they have got cancer. But the encouragement has got to come from the whole family. As a mother, I gave her all the love, including the rest of the family. Everybody was encouraging her. Nobody was showing her a gloomy face to say she's going to die after all, she has got cancer and so on. We were always praying. Cancer is just like any other disease. As long as you follow the instructions and so on. Nursing a cancer patient, they really need love. They really need encouragement. With me, it was different because the cancer patient was giving me encouragement. And all I did was to support her. She never felt sorry for herself. She soldiered ahead. The most important thing is prayer. My daughter died praying. She was so happy. The most important thing, don't lose hope. For those who have got cancer, don't lose hope. My daughter died, I have no regrets, and I cannot blame it on cancer. Maybe it was her time to go. But we gave her all the love. The doctors at Cancer Hospital were very good. Dr. Catherine Mwaba with her team, and the nursing staff, David and Paul in the Cancer Hospital, they really gave us hope for life. My daughter, they were all good. Actually, this was not the first cancer in my family. My brother also died of cancer. She died of prostate cancer. By the time she went to the hospital, it was already in advanced stage. I can surely say and safely say those people are doing a great job. I give them my distinction.
According to the World Health Organization data published in 2020, breast cancer deaths in Zambia reached 366, or 0.33% of total deaths. The age-adjusted death rate is 9.51 per 100,000 of population and ranks Zambia number 164 in the world.
This is all we had, but it is very important for citizens to promote screening and prevention of cancer disease, which affects majority of our women in Zambia every year and 2.3 million women worldwide. So talking about breast can be important, but sometimes awkward, as stepping in and supporting the cancer awareness. However, talk about it. Give us your feedback via documentaries@diamondtvzambia.com or send your live contributions through the Diamond TV Facebook page, Diamond TV Zambia.